Hello, everyone. Happy Friday to you, and thanks for joining us here on Wave Listens Live. I'm your host, as always, Brian Schlonsky, and as always, we have got a great show for you on tap today as we take you right to the rundown now, show you who you can expect. We've got the Elder Advisors on for 2 segments. They've got the upcoming workshops, making sure you don't go broke in a nursing home. And then we've got the Alzheimer's Association joining us as well. Of course, the Walk to End Alzheimer's is upcoming. We'll fill you in on all those important details. So we'll start things off, though, here in studio with the Elder Advisors and Larry Weiss.
Hello, Kentuckiana.
President.
Hello, children. Hello.
Always with us. Always a nice hello from him as well. And Amy Wheatley, attorney from Stein Law Offices. Good to see you back here again as well.
Hello.
Let's start with you, Larry, because I know we got the workshops coming up, and we got to let people know what's up.
We have a busy week next week on the workshops. Don't go broke in a nursing home, Kentuckiana, because you don't have to. It's that simple. You really don't. And it's fundamentally just such an incredible, stressful time for families. You know, they're trying to take care of their kids at home, their kids in college, now they're dealing with their parents in their 80s. They're very much a sandwich generation, and so much of everything that people are operating under is what I call the barbershop law. It's well-intentioned, but it's usually wrong, and it stresses them out. You know, they hear all these horror stories, and that may have happened with that particular family, with that particular set of facts, but the reality is, Brian, you don't have to. For husbands and wife, we can keep all the assets if one spouse goes into care. If it's a single person, we can keep right about half of the assets to do that. That's crisis planning. That's why we're doing the workshops Monday in Louisville, Tuesday in Clarksville, Wednesday we're going up to Madison, up the river in Jefferson County, Indiana. And we've had a lot of people hit the freeworkshop.com and register on the Eventbrites for Madison. So I guess Lindsay Fleming was right for once. Lindsay was like,
that's the spot to be, right?
Yeah, right. And I can say that because she's out of town on vacation, so she won't hear the affirmation I gave for her.
She doesn't get props when she's here on the show. You can't let anybody get too big of a head around these parts. All right, Amy, I'm going to go to you because Elder Advisors obviously has such great partners that they work with. As Larry mentions before, since he's not an attorney, they're not attorneys, that's why we bring in someone from Stein Law Offices and talk about where you come in and how you can help these clients.
Sure. So I can come in and help draft the documents that actually get this process started. There'll be, powers of attorney, there's going to be living wills, there's going to be financial power of attorney and healthcare power of attorney, a living trust, an asset protection trust, all of those legal documents that you actually have to have, the skill and knowledge to write. I do that, and then Larry and his team will then go about helping people prepare and put things into those trusts.
Yeah, and Larry, we talk about how you guys are able to streamline this process for people, because I think before, if you've never been to a workshop before or met with somebody like you don't even know the levels of how much goes into asset protection and doing this planning.
No, not at all. And first of all, special shout out to Dennis and Rita LaFont. Hello, people. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Right.
She has a list of people we can shout out and those we can't.
Yeah,
We picked on a couple last time.
Show, I was given a friendly reminder. Okay, you can say that.
Uh-oh.
Can you say that? Okay. So just saying hello, greeting is okay.
I thought what was coming next one might have been my fault.
Brian, with the level of perfection you bring to the show, no, not a chance.
Okay.
Not a chance.
I'll do my very best.
Well, and the funny thing is, we're going to talk a little bit about the mistakes and misunderstandings people have with gifting and stuff, and Doug York from DMO Accounting will talk about that. But when we're at the workshop or on the private consultations, we'll sit down, and so many times we'll find the families say, well, I went ahead and added my 2 kids to my checking account. And I always kind of get a shudder when I hear that. Or I'm really thinking about putting my 2 kids on the deed to the house. And with that, since that's always kind of a legal nuance, let's bring it right back to Stein Law and Amy Wheatley, because I think that's probably warning.
Yeah, I mean, I think that in theory that's fine,
sure.
And that does accomplish what you're hoping to accomplish. But there are other things that could happen. If those kids go through a divorce, then your house is an asset in their divorce. Or if those kids get some sort of a bankruptcy or something like that, your house becomes an asset in their bankruptcy.
These are the levels to the thinking that you guys are able to put in from what you've seen before. That people who are going through this process maybe are only thinking of the first step of this.
Exactly.
I think this is a good way to protect it, but you guys have now thought 5 steps down the line to be able to protect assets if something like this occurs.
Well, it's not our first rodeo. We've done this one a bit.
Well, and
first or second.
Well, and Thanksgiving is around the corner, and let's have an awkward Thanksgiving dinner conversation when mom and dad are sitting down and they're turning to their daughter-in-law and going, "Why aren't you signing that deed? We need to sell the house into a patio home." Can you imagine the fun at that dinner? Right?
Exactly.
Because that's what they're setting themselves up for, right?
Right. That's exactly right.
Let's talk. You had in the notes too about the people hear about things like LegalZoom. Let's talk about. Yeah, I see the eye roll. Let's talk about that one.
Yeah. So, I went to school for a long time and spent a lot of money doing it so that I could learn to do these things. If it were easy enough to just Google and figure out what you needed to do, nobody would go to law school. You wouldn't spend that kind of money and that kind of time. So those things are one size fits all. They don't handle the nuances that a lot of people have in their lives, that most of us have in our lives. And so it's, just like when people go to the hospital and they say, well, I read on the internet, the doctors roll their eyes then too, because, the internet just cannot be a good substitute for an actual professional.
Larry, you always have a great line, and I don't want to butcher this, but I think it's if you don't plan ahead, you're planning to fail.
Yeah, if you don't no one plans to fail. Now you missed. I told you. I've done it for years, seamless.
And it's so good.
No one plans on failing. People fail to plan.
There it is.
Thank you, America.
There it is.
Thank you, Canada. Thank you, Mexico.
So much better than my rendition.
Wow.
But it's so true, and I think that's one of the assets that you all provide in asset protection.
Yeah, we had a family sat down recently. The husband for her, he's busy, and the wife came in and stuff. Been married 40 years, and one of the first questions I was asked families and at the workshop is, do you have a power of attorney? And she's like, well, no. And I'm like, that can just be so bad for all kinds of reasons. I had a lady come in last night. Her mother's in the nursing home. First question asked was,
do you have a power of attorney?
Answer is no. So we'll go right back to Stein Law, the problems with that, because now this is a crisis, and it's going to be a super crisis.
Yeah, because without a power of attorney, that is a document, a legal document that allows you to act on behalf of someone else. And a lot of people think that, oh, well, we're married. I should be able to act on behalf of my husband. We've been married for 20 years. I know his favorite foods. I know what size shirt he wears. But if he has a check in his name only, I can't go and cash that check without some sort of a power of attorney, because I cannot legally act for him. So the power of attorney is what enables people to act in other people's stead, and then it allows Larry to do a lot of what he does.
Now,
the magic.
This is why it's so important to go to those workshops, get some of this information. We've got another segment coming up here with Elder Advisors. We're going to bring in Doug York, an accountant. So we've talked on the legal side of things, the accounting side coming your way after the short break. Don't go anywhere. We are back with you now on Wave Listens Live, and Larry Weiss is here waving at you.
Hello, children.
From Elder Advisors, of course. Amy Wheatley still with us as well, attorney from Stein Law, and Doug York joining us now, accountant from
Doug.
DMLO. And thank you, Doug, for joining us here.
Thank you for having me.
We've got some questions we're going to send your way here in just a second, specific to accounting. But Larry, back to you, because the workshops are upcoming. We've got to get those details in.
Next week, it is workshop week for Elder Advisors. Monday, we'll be at the Hilton Garden Inn on Crittenden Drive, right off exit 132 by gate 4 at the fairgrounds. And Tuesday morning, we will be in Clarksville at the Hampton Inn on Broadway, right off of Veterans Parkway. And of course, Wednesday, we're going up the river to, not that kind of up the river, we're going up the river to Madison in Jefferson County, Indiana at the Fairford Inn and Suites. And we've had a lot of response on the freeworkshop.com site where people register. So they do the Eventbrite and they register. So we're looking forward to a pretty good show this week. The temperatures be a little moderate, so we're looking forward to it. And we're very happy to have Stein Law with Amy Whitley at the attorney for the workshops next week. Because, you know, when we tell people don't go broke in a nursing home, there's almost always a legal component. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a fireman. I'm not a CPA. I do the financial part, but to be successful in doing that, there's always bits and pieces of different components, almost always legal, almost often a CPA component, which we'll talk about in a minute with Doug York. But when we open up the workshops, Brian, I ask families 3 key questions. And I said, you don't have to be honest with me, but you have to be honest with yourself if you're going to get something out of this. Because, shocker alert, no one plans on failing. People fail to plan, Brian.
We got that quote down now.
Well, no thanks to you.
No thanks to me at all.
Man, you like jinxed me forever.
Butchered it last segment.
There's children crying because Uncle Larry messed up on live TV.
And they were ready to record that moment.
It messed me up again. So I asked families 3 key questions.
Okay.
How many people have a loved one in a nursing home about to go? Hands go up. That's crisis planning. We can help. Certainly the legal component there, because if it's husband and wife, we can keep pretty much all of the assets if you know the rules and exceptions, which we do. If it's a single person, we can protect about half of the assets, so we can help there. The second question is how many people have a loved one at home getting some rehab? Maybe we're kind of spending the nights with mom, kind of make sure she doesn't fall. If certain things don't plan out, we might have to look at placement. Hands go up. That's pre-crisis planning. There's certainly legal nuances and components we use with that on the financials to help navigate through the finances. And then the third key question, and I tell the people in the audience, I said, if you're honest with yourself, all hands are going to go up and some will go up more than once. I said, how many people simply want to avoid these problems, give themselves peace of mind, and protect their children? All the hands go up. That's pre-planning, and we always need Amy at Stein Law to help with that.
Okay.
Because that's pre-planning.
That's pre-planning. And then, of course, that's where you come in, as Larry mentioned, not an attorney. You can take care of those legal nuances. What's one of the big ones before we turn it over to Doug to talk about asset protection that you maybe get asked a lot at these workshops that you're able to answer right here and now?
Well, a lot of it is, you know, can I just put somebody's name on my checking account, or can I just put somebody's name on my house and that take care of it? And, you know, as I said, yeah, you can do that. But there are things that you need to be concerned about and you need to think about on down the road.
Okay, Doug, another great partner, obviously, with Elder Advisors. Let's talk about your role in asset protection for clients.
Well, we sit down with our clients and decide what assets they have and if they can transfer assets and the legal ways to transfer assets from a tax standpoint. We have a tax standpoint we have to worry about. We have a gift standpoint we have to worry about, estate. And then we also have Medicaid issues. So anybody can give up to $17,000 a year away. No estate tax, no income tax. It's not taxable to either party, but anything over $17,000 in a year, you must file a gift tax return. And that's for the protection of the recipient, because they're going to have money or property coming into their name. The gift tax return just explains to IRS that this is a legal transfer and that's what we're doing. So, and anybody can give up to, right now the law is set to $12,900,000 that anybody can give away in their lifetime. And most people that qualifies for. But in 2025, that expires and resets back to $5 million. So again, most people will be good in that situation, but again, there needs to be some planning. If something's coming about, something's happening in their life, there's changes. So,
speaking of planning, we've talked with Amy before about some of the things that people can do maybe before they meet with Elder Advisors, before they meet with her on the legal side, to be best prepared to go through this process. Same to you. Anything that people out there listening who plan on getting involved and being on top of this now should start working on the accounting side?
Yeah, I mean, again, you can give up to $17,000 a year away right now, and the index is up to $18,000 for 2024. But for Medicaid, any gift you give away can go back and look back and then cause an issue for Medicaid. Yep. So from the prospect of planning, especially if there's a nursing home or a medical issue, that becomes an issue. So gifts that you've given away in the last few years, again, you don't have to pay estate or income tax on, but it can be brought back in for Medicaid purposes.
Yeah, and this knowledge, obviously, Larry, why you partner with folks in the community like the two of them, yeah, to help you through this. Because
fundamentally, no one plans on failing. People fail to plan. So at the workshop,
2 for 3.
Are you keeping count?
I am now.
I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about. I really don't. Because people don't plan on failing, they fail to plan. So people think, well, I can give away the $15,000 or $17,000 and be automatically eligible for Medicaid. Wrong. No, do not pass go. Do not collect $200. That's the barbershop law. You know, that's where people are navigated, well-intentioned, at church or at the coffee club or whatever, and they hear all this stuff, and it's the wrong information. That's why, you know, we've been doing these workshops. I've lost track of how long we've been doing this, but I love what I do. I have a passion for this stuff, high energy. Love what look. I am living. I'm not existent. I truly am blessed. There's 9 of us, plus myself, makes 10 at Elder Advisors. We're partnered with great attorneys at Steinlaw, DLMO Accounting. You're only as good as the people around you. Kudos to Steinlaw, DLMO Accounting, because I don't know everything. I'll be the first to admit that. But I sure like being able to say, you know what, I don't know that answer, but let's give Doug York at DLMO Accounting a question on this nuance. Well, what about this legal? Well, I'm not an attorney. We'll have Amy Wheatley take care of the legal. It just makes things so much easier when you can surround yourself with top talent. And it just makes everybody's job a lot easier, and I think gives the clients peace of mind when they come to the workshops and realize what we're doing for them.
And have somebody with this type of passion on your team helping you with your asset protection. All right, hit the workshops one last time.
We're back. Monday, October 9th, Hilton Garden Inn in Louisville at 10 a.m., right off exit 132 on I-65. Tuesday morning, we go north of the river. We're in Clarksville, 10 a.m., Hampton Inn on Broadway off Veterans. And Wednesday, we're going up to Jefferson County, Indiana, and Madison at the Fairfoot Inn and Suites at 10 a.m. And we're delighted to have Amy Wheatley from Steinlaw be the guest speaker attorney at those workshops, making herself available for the legal nuances.
All right. Well, Larry, Amy, and Doug, great to see all 3 of you. I know the workshops will be fantastic. They always are.
freeworkshop.com, 855-LARRY-55. It answers all of your questions.
All right. Can't wait to have you back here with a jacket next time.
Wow, that's good.
I saved it for the end.
Touche.
I saved it for the end.
Very good,
okay.
Brian.
He'll burn me next time.
Never.
Stay with us here on Wave Listens Live. We've got another important segment coming your way next. The Alzheimer's Association here talking about the walk to end Alzheimer's. Hello, everyone. Thanks, as always, for being with us here on Wave Listens Live. I'm your host, Brian Schlonsky. We've got a great show for you today, as we do every day. Hopefully, you're recovering from whatever you did for Halloween yesterday. We are into November and starting off the month with the Elder Advisors, making sure you don't go broke in a nursing home. 2 segments with Elder Advisors, and then we move on to Visit Gatlinburg. Maybe you've got a fall trip in the works. Gatlinburg could be the perfect place to go with your family. So, as always, joining us here from Elder Advisors, you know these 2, Larry Weiss, President, and Lindsay Fleming, Vice President.
Name only.
Hello.
And hello to both of you.
I hope we didn't lose viewers when you said 2 segments with Elder Advisors.
No, right.
I was like, oh.
The world deserves 4 segments with Elder Advisors, but we'll settle for 2.
It's going to be a good time.
Hello,
Good time.
children.
How are you guys?
I am pumped.
All is well?
It's the season of autumn. It's always a good time.
Loves autumn.
Excuse me, I'm
Loves
sorry. Wait a minute.
autumn.
Brian, is there a problem?
Loves
I haven't yet
What do
to
you
hear
what
one.
do you have against the season of autumn?
I love it.
So
Best season.
we're pumped because
Okay.
we've got workshops coming up.
Don't go broke in a nursing home,
And
Kentuckiana.
it just gears up. Very important, Kentuckiana, our last workshops of the year, right?
Really?
So
We're wrapping up 23.
If you
Giddy
don't
up.
come out this time, you'll have to wait to see us until January. And don't wait. Don't wait.
Don't wait.
Don't wait. Okay, let's.
That'll be next year.
Yeah, right.
No, before we know it. Let's hit the details on the workshops,
Yeah.
just in case. We
Yeah.
got to get them in a couple times.
Yeah, don't go broke in a nursing home because you don't have to. We're starting Monday here in Louisville at the Hilton Garden Inn by the airport, exit 132 on 65 at 10 a.m. And then we cross back to 7 southern Indiana. Some say the sunny side of Indiana. I'm not sure yet. Tuesday at the Hampton Inn in Clarksville on Broadway, Veterans Parkway. And then Wednesday, we're going down to Bourbon Country. We're going down to Bardstown.
Bardstown.
Probably have lunch at Scout and Scholar Restaurant in Bardstown. But first, work first, 10 o'clock at the Hampton Inn on Chambers Boulevard in Bardstown. All families, don't go broke in a nursing home because you don't have to.
I think it's awesome that you guys are here now and doing these workshops ahead of the end of the year and ahead of all the holiday gatherings, because some of these conversations that maybe families have been putting off that need to happen will happen over the holidays, so maybe get a jump on it.
Right, and wouldn't it be great, Kentucky Anna, to come to the workshop and just get some information, right? Take it to your Thanksgiving dinner, you know, your senior brother from out of town, whatever it is. Get that information, arm yourself with the truth, because there's so much, as Larry says, barbershop law out there, and it's just garbage. It's just crap that people heard once at coffee at McDonald's, and it's not true. It's not real. The news is good. The news is good. We've got great news. So come out and hear it.
And once again, Brian, for the greater Wave 3 TV viewing community, you've demonstrated why you continue to be the erstwhile TV personality with insightful, to the point
2 claps
arguments.
For Brian.
Because you know what? Honestly, November and December end up always being busy. Furious activity for us, because as Lindsay was saying, a lot of people pop in, the kids, things are looking different than the last time they remembered, and things, you know, sometimes the wheels come off the wagon. Oh, before I forget, the producers are reminding me, special shout out to one of our clients, Jackie Rout, great lady. Jackie and I have 2 things in common.
Okay.
Jackie, I'm sorry, but the TV public needs to know these things.
Of course.
Okay? First, neither of us are really big fans of Halloween. We are fans of autumn.
Okay.
We are both fans of autumn.
Unpopular
and the other thing is, Jackie, I'm sure producer's saying I have to say it, Jackie and I are, neither of us are really fans of her daughter, Robin. I'm sorry, but it had to be said. It had to be said. Robin, you know, that's how it works.
You slow rolled that one.
Sorry, Robin.
By thrashing Halloween, and then moved on to the...
But we all love autumn.
Yeah, right.
Who doesn't love autumn?
Yeah.
Well, maybe somebody. I don't know. Okay, it's important though, and this is the kind of, you guys have relationships with your clients and the people that come out to the workshops.
Right.
We like to have fun with this stuff because it can be serious, and to have somebody that not only has the knowledge you guys do, but somebody that you want to be around as you go throughout this process. And I think that's big.
I took a call last night, and of course, I had kids, and we're getting ready for Halloween or whatever. My cell phone rang about 5:15, and Dad had been in the office earlier today, and there was some confusion and what. And you know, I really wanted to be at the appointment, but I couldn't. So I'm talking to the adult daughter, and she's just like, "I'm so sorry for calling you after hours." And I'm like, "Do not you ever. That is what I'm here for. That is what I'm here for." And it's just, it is so rewarding in moments like that to really see the human level for which we're able to care for and kind of shepherd, you know, these folks through a very difficult process. It's very nuanced. It's hard to understand, but just I think the fact knowing that they have our cell phone numbers is really helpful.
You can reach out, well, no matter what's popping up, no matter what you said, barbershop law. Maybe they start hearing rumblings out and about at church or barbecue or whatever, and they call you guys and say, "Hey, I heard X, Y, Z." You're there to kind of clear it up and get the real information out there.
And the producers in my ear, the real information would be a good time for a special photo of Lindsay to pop up to share with the greater Wave 3 community.
I didn't know we had one of these today.
We do, because people need to know it.
Oh my God!
People need to know it. What a bad person.
Okay, I call this costume. I've worked with Larry for nearly 2 years.
Costume? Are you kidding me? She was coming out of a psych ward.
Oh my gosh, I'm never sending you any photos ever again. Now this is war, Brian. This is war. Just wait for what happens next.
Are costumes a big part of the workshop?
That's not a costume. That woman is in depression. She's on the wrong meds. I have no confidence in this woman anymore.
That's a day in the life.
It's clearly not autumn.
Just works with Larry. Yeah. So I had my neighbor. He has a little baby, and I was kind of holding her on the board. And my brother walks up and goes, "Oh my gosh, it looks like you just got beat up. You're like you just came off the maternity ward from the worst birth ever."
This is one reason why you hate Halloween.
Well, no. Well, Jackie, remember, Jackie and I aren't fans of Halloween, nor are we of her daughter, Robin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a backstory there?
Robin, me and you, sister. Robin,
I think the Kentuckiana community would be better served finding a Yellow Page director from 1987 than engage Lindsay. It's like,
that's true. I just think that one through.
But you know what? It's insightful.
Brian and I are like Yellow Page. What?
Yeah. Oh, I know what
So, you know, Lindsay, well, the great thing about Lindsay is she's a yes girl. She says everything I do. She never calls me out on anything. But her ringtone is what?
It's the Jurassic Park theme song.
Because I'm a T-Rex. I'm a dinosaur.
Oh, that's for you.
Yeah,
It's
so
not because of your inherent love of prehistoric species.
Only when Larry calls.
Okay.
Hey, Kentuckians, don't go broke in the nursing
to the
room. You
workshop.
don't have to, and you shouldn't have to. Don't.
You want to see this thing in real life.
It is more beautiful.
You've got to see it.
Yeah,
You've got
right?
to see it.
Okay.
But seriously,
I love the coffee you brought.
can we bring it back? I brought Larry a coffee this morning. Thank you. And we got
Wrong.
blasted
He clearly
on
needed it.
television.
Clearly you needed it today.
Thank you. But no, I think I want to just circle back to, you know, just encouraging folks to come to the workshop. This
Sure.
is serious. Like, this is serious stuff. And, you know, but it's human stuff, right? It's human stuff. It's heavy, but we really do the very best that we can to walk our families through it. You know, be a slight piece of comic relief when we need to, but we take our jobs very seriously and what we do very seriously. It's never too late, and frankly, it's never too early.
No, it is
We've
not.
got an appointment coming in at 4:30 today, or 3:30 today. And Dad's been in an assisted living for 3 years and maybe looking to go to a nursing facility. And I think we can talk a little bit more about it after the break. But, you know, shoot, I'm glad you're coming in.
Yeah.
But could have came 3 years ago. I mean, just so it's never too early and it's never too late, really and truly. So anyone who they're loving or themselves are, you know, passing the threshold of 65 or so years old, 60 years old, needs to be at the workshop.
Okay, we're going to get more into this after the break. As she mentioned, it's serious stuff, but hey, you guys know what you're talking about. The workshop's a great place to learn that. We will get more into it with the elder advisors. Don't go anywhere. Don't go broke in a nursing home. We'll be back.
Where's my coffee?
And behind the plant.
No, that one's mine.
Oh.
Don't drink out of that one.
We are back with you now on
Hello,
Wave Listens
children.
Live. We are back with the elder advisors.
Don't go anywhere.
Or broken in a nursing home.
See, again, you demonstrate your succinct ability to do live television.
My mind is still
Good for you.
semi-sharp. So
You're just sharp.
look, okay, you guys always come.
dressed.
Well,
Yeah, I feel,
decent today.
quite honestly, I'm feeling intimidated by him today.
Well, you should.
I know.
This isn't one of my.
No,
Oh, it looks good.
You're drop
Yeah,
dead
it's good.
dapper.
That's good.
Really?
I like the
Yeah,
tie.
no,
Well,
you're sizzling.
The days you're coming, I always, take
Oh,
a
step it
notch or
up.
two.
That's right.
Just in case.
Brings the A game.
It's for
Brings
you.
the A
It's for
game.
you. You come often before you do these
Right.
workshops, which
Right.
are super important, super impactful. We try to get as many people out there so that you can help them
Sure.
before it's too late. And let's hit, because you always
Yeah.
do several locations and make sure everybody can get there.
Well, and the reality is you don't have to wait until you're completely broke.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a financial component which we help with. There's also the emotional component we help with. And we want the rooms full, but there's always some empty chairs, and those are the people that subscribe to the barbershop law. Nothing can be done. Skip went through this years ago, and he told me, and it just overwhelms people to the point where they can't do anything. And the reality is so much can be done, Brian. For husband and wife, if one spouse goes into care, we can protect pretty much all the assets. If it's a single person, we can protect about half of the assets. So at the workshops, I open up and I tell people, be honest with yourself. You don't have to be honest with me. How many people have loved one in a nursing we're about to go? Hands go up. That's crisis planning. We can help. Your hair's on fire. We can fix it. The second key question is how many people are at home? Some home health. We need to kind of start doing some things. Mom's getting some rehab. Hands go up. That's pre-crisis planning. We can help as well. And the third variable is pre-planning. How many people simply want to avoid these problems, give themselves peace of mind, and protect their children? And everybody's hands go up. That's pre-planning, and all those variables, we almost always have attorneys involved because we're not attorneys, we're not lumberjacks, we're not Ben Jones. This is what we do. So we'll have attorneys at all the workshops. If they need accounting help, we'll refer them to CPAs. But a lot of it is, and Lindsay alluded to this, it's probably the only insightful thing she said for some time, where she alluded to the fact that if you got to us 3 years ago, we could have been of more help. And our whole team has been helping a family. They came from out of state at Bridgepoint Gardens. In Jeffersonville, Indiana. And let me tell you what, it is like the Taj Mahal. The Taj Mahal, Bridgepoint Gardens is a phenomenal place.
In a state.
Yeah, it really is. It's like stately Wayne Manor. The only thing missing is Batman and Robin.
Well, you know, that's you two.
Yeah, right. I am a superhero, baby.
I know.
I'm looking for a reason to wear a cape. I want to wear a cape.
Well, that was yesterday.
Yeah, right.
You know, and I think Larry said, you know, waiting until, you know, don't wait until your hair is on fire. This particular couple, you know, okay at home, whatever, but you know, the amenities that are available at a Bridgepoint Garden and several other assisted livings are incredible.
Right.
And I think people are like, I have to leave my home or go to this really, and they have this nightmarish, crappy situation.
They're picturing what it was 40 years ago.
It's not that. It's not that at all.
And I really want to finish the shout out to give a proper seriously shout out to Bridgepoint Gardens, Rhonda and Angela in the front office, and Marianne, our social worker, will be with this family tomorrow doing some things. And I just kind of took the family under my wing, and I met Gina the nurse, Sandy the nurse.
LaCosta?
Yes, I'm sorry, LaCosta. Yeah, she's kind of the activity director of everything.
Quality of life director.
And then James is the chef there, so I was there about 4 o'clock. You could just smell the cooking. They had shepherd's pie yesterday wafting up through the building, and Shane was the steward at the room, you know, tending to the tables and stuff. Unfortunately, they only have Coke products there.
I want to live there.
That's
gotta have Coke. I gotta have my Diet Coke. But just a wonderful, inviting place. And the other thing was, is it Jenny from Cleaning the Clutter?
Clearing the Clutter, Jenny.
She was another resource that helped unpack the family stuff. So by the time the family got there, the bed was made, the cat was already walking around waiting for him, and it was just a wonderful transition to what otherwise is a very stressful time for people. And it's just, you know, it's really great. It's very humbling. I've been doing this 26 years. There's 10 of us here at Elder Advisors. I've got a great right hand in Lindsay Fleming, and the rest of the team. Autumn handled placement. She's the one that suggested the family Bridgepoint Gardens. I, quite frankly, was not that familiar with them. I'd certainly never been to the property, and it's like, wow. You know, so kudos to Bridgepoint Gardens. Great job, people.
You said the word when you were talking there. You said the word resource. And I think that's, in my time knowing you guys and sitting down with you, that's one of the biggest assets you can bring, because not only is it your team of 10 that are resources that know all of these different things, all the people you partner with are extra resources.
Absolutely.
And if you're a family, like you said, you don't need to wait until the worst case scenario to start using these resources and getting them on your side.
And I've been a fan. I know Lindsay, something that's really accentuated this is, you know, because, you know, our monikers don't go broke in a nursing home. And we do that. But with Marianne and Lindsay more on the social worker with the family component of social services, the sooner we get to the families, we may never have a nursing home issue. And with this family that's being placed, that was placed yesterday at Bridgepoint Gardens, my hope, and I know the family's hope is, you know, they're eating 3 meals a day. You know, mom is getting her meds laid out every day. Dad's taking care of the cat. Maybe they get stabilized and they never degrade to the point where everybody's in denial and they wait for the train wreck and then they go straight to skilled care.
And the sooner that you make this move, this is something that we talk about, the sooner you call in resources, whatever that looks like, whether that's care in the home, 4 hours a day, once a week. If it's assisted living, whatever it is, the sooner you call in assistance, the more likely you are to age in place, the more likely you are to avoid a nursing home, to avoid a crisis.
Keep your lifestyle similar as you can.
Exactly, exactly. And I think people feel like, well, you know, if we're calling in help, it's giving up, or it's somehow, you know, waving the white flag of defeat. It's not. It's empowering. It's saying, I want to be in control of this, so I'm just going to flood myself with as many resources that are available to me, and that's what we help do.
All right, 15. You got about 15 seconds.
Yeah, Kentucky and don't go broke in a nursing home. It starts with a phone call, 855-LARRY-55. It answers all your questions. We'll be in Louisville on Monday, Tuesday in Clarksville. Wednesday, we're going down to Bardstown, Nelson County, and then we're going to have lunch at Scout and Scholar Restaurant. Don't go broke in a nursing home. You don't have to. ElderAdvisors.com.
FreeWorkshop.com.
FreeWorkshop.com.
We can't wait to see you.
Lindsay will be there.
And it's your favorite season, autumn.
Autumn. Who doesn't love autumn?
Autumn will be there too, guys. So
I love autumn.
Autumn will be there.
It's my favorite season.
And the season. Good to see you guys. Thanks for all you
Thank
do
you
for
so
everybody
much.
out
Goodbye,
there.
British Point Gardens.
We'll be back. I'll be back anyways. We've got Gatlinburg coming on next. It's a great time of year to visit. We'll fill you in. Stay with us. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon and happy Friday to you. Thanks for spending part of your Friday with us here on Wave Listens Live. As always, I'm your host, Brian Schlonsky. And as always, we've got a great show on tap for you today as we take you right to the rundown now, show you who you can expect. We will sit down with the elder advisors, making sure you and your loved ones don't go broke in a nursing home. Some upcoming sessions to talk about with them. And then we've got Wi-Fi Wellness Club joining us, talking about the services they offer. They want to make sure that you feel and look your best, especially as we head into this holiday season. Plus, American Chimney and Fireplace. They will tell you what they can do to help your home get ready for all this cold weather that we know is always right around the corner. So as always, with Elder Advisors, there's Larry Weiss.
Hello, Kentuckiana. Hello, children.
President of Elder Advisors. Amy Wheatley here as well, attorney with Stein Law. Great to see you as well, Amy, and
Hi.
Hope all is well in your world.
Everything's great.
Yeah, he brought you along today, so
I don't want to correct you in live television.
Okay.
So I won't.
Okay.
But I think the opening would have. I think the opening would have been better if it was Fantastic Friday. You know, be excited about it. It's a beautiful weather.
and try to get the the rhyming thing in there.
Yeah, don't go broke in a nursing home because you don't have to, Kentuckiana.
Well,
You
that's
don't.
good.
That's why we're
That
doing the
works no matter
workshops.
what.
It does. It really does. And all they have to do is call 855-LARRY-55. It answers all of their questions and, quite frankly, solves most of the problems of life for people.
Oh,
855-LARRY-55. Don't go anywhere. One of the many.
Yeah, one of the many. The workshops are always so impactful, so let's make sure we let everybody know about those first.
Absolutely. We're doing our workshops, which will be the last for 2023. We won't see the folks again until next year.
So you got to come out.
If they don't make it out this Monday in Louisville to Hilton Garden Inn, where Amy Wheatley from Stein Law will be as our guest speaker for the Louisville audience, and then Tuesday Clarksville, and then Wednesday we're going back down to Bardstown, Nelson County. If they don't ask me to leave, I hope to complete a full meal at Scout and Scholar Restaurant in Bardstown. The last time I caused a disturbance, police were called, but I was able to resolve it. I had to write an apology letter. I say too much. But anyway, love Bardstown, Nelson County, Scout and Scholar Restaurant.
As you mention often, you're not an attorney. That's why Amy's not just here for the workshop. She's here to bail
I'm
you
more
out
than just
when you
a pretty
get
face,
in
right?
trouble.
And so much, more,
Yeah.
and so much more. But when we tell people to workshop, I tell them if you're going to get something out of the workshop, Brian, they need to be honest with themselves. And there's 3 key questions I always start the workshop with, and I ask people, how many people have a loved one in a nursing home or about to go? Hands go up. That's crisis planning. We can pretty much protect all the assets if it's a husband and wife situation. If it's a couple, we can protect pretty much all the assets. If it's a single person, we can protect about half the assets. That's crisis planning. Even within the nursing home, it's never too late. And the second variable is pre-crisis planning. How many people have a loved one at home getting some rehab? Maybe we're spending nights with our loved ones so they don't fall and stuff. Hands go up. That's pre-crisis planning. We can help insert position assets there. And the third variable, I tell everybody in the audience, everybody's hand's going to go up, and some now more than once. How many people simply want to avoid these problems, give themselves peace of mind, and protect their children, people they love? All the hands go up. That's pre-planning. And in all those variables, there's almost a legal component to be truly successful and artful in doing that. I'm not a lumberjack. I'm not a CPA. I'm also not a television host like you, Brian.
You kind of are that. That one, maybe we.
Guilty as charged. But the
A sharp dresser, you're that.
I'm a beautiful woman. I don't mind telling you that. This is tape delay, so we can.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
They can dump over it.
But Stein Law has been an integral part of Elder Advisors with our business model. Amy Stein, one of the partners at Stein Law, and Amy Wheatley. And Amy Wheatley will be there with us Monday because there's legal components to be successful, and that's why we're delighted to have Stein Law and Amy Stein. We miss you so much on the circuit.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, Amy. But Amy Wheatley will be there
an Amy
as
with us
well.
today.
That's right.
Right.
So you're one of the speakers there. What's going to be kind of your message, what you want to get across to folks out there who are there at the workshops with you?
Well, a lot of times I will talk to people about, if they have a POA, a power of attorney, that's something that's pretty basic. It allows you to act in someone else's stead. A lot of times a husband and wife, they've been married for, 30 years. They know everything about each other. They know each other's favorite food. But if one of them has a check that's written in their name alone, then spouse can't cash that or can't do anything with that without a power of attorney. And so I usually try to talk to people about, those types of documents that make it easier for them to work with each other. A lot of times people have a power of attorney, and so, but those things tend to expire or the laws change. And so if you had one drafted 15 years ago, you might want to come in, bring your paperwork in on Monday. I'll take a look at it, and if it needs to be redone, that's one of the things that I'm there to help out with.
Yeah, that's a good point because things do change over the years. So
Absolutely.
even if people have pre-planned one of the elements that you talk about, you can still come out to the workshops and still make sure that everything you have pre-planned is up to date.
Well, and the workshops are always well attended, but there's always a couple of empty seats. And I talk about those empty seats at the workshop because sadly, those are the people that have subscribed to the barbershop law. They're already stressed. They talk to Bob or Susan at church or at McDonald's. Well, nothing can be done. When Uncle Bob went through, we did this, we lost everything. And it just weighs on people. So it just weighs them down. They've got more stress, and they think nothing can be done because that's what Art or Scooter said. And the reality is it's never too late. Never too late. It is never too late to protect those assets. But like Lindsay says so many times at Elder Advisors, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago or today. Get it done. Give up an hour and 20 minutes of your time Monday in Louisville, Tuesday in Clarksville, Wednesday, Nelson County at Bardstown. Remember, lunch at Scout and Scholar. I hope they'll let me finish my meal there.
You're bringing your attorney this time. That's pre-planning.
That is pre-planning because Mr. Weiss's behavior is always a little unprofessional and usually unseemly.
Not so much. But look, one of the things that you talked about that was so important when you talked about people heard from someone else that nothing can be done.
Very bad.
This is why you meet with Elder Advisors professionals, because you mentioned, okay, you said I'm not a lumberjack.
Right.
So if somebody asks you something about that industry, maybe you say, I don't know, it can't be done. Talk to a lumberjack.
Absolutely.
And they can fix it.
No, absolutely. And there's usually always a legal component. So of course we're not attorneys at Elder Advisors. We do the financial, the hand-holding, the kitchen table stuff, because the reality is whatever the solution is, it's going to involve time at the kitchen table, sorting through mom's life story of bags and shopping bags of stuff. What is real, what is not? Oh, here's an insurance policy. Well, it lapsed in 1982, so we can cross that off. We don't have to worry about it. But there's almost always legal components, so we always circle back to the attorneys, and that's why we're delighted to have Stein Law at the Monday workshop. We will sadly miss Amy Stein. She's predisposed with other legal concerns, very important. So we have Amy Wheatley at the Monday workshop.
Yeah, and Amy, I imagine this is part of why you do what you do when you have these families that come to you, and maybe all these documents are all over the place, and they have no idea what the next step is going to be, and you are that person that can help guide them through the legal component of that.
Absolutely. And a lot of times they'll show up and they have just stacks of things, and and I'll say you don't need this, or this is great, but you probably the law changed on this about 4 years ago, so we'll need to update it. And those are all things that I can do, like I said, on Monday at the workshop. If somebody wants to bring their stuff with them, I'm happy to look at it and tell them about what needs to be done.
And real quick, we have a gentleman that was pre-planning, and he is by far, and his wife, they are by far the grand national champion of having deeds to properties.
Okay.
So, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So we started working with, one is just I have my house and my farm or whatever. So, Amy, and her team, they start digging into the deeds, and I think we're up to 15 or something. I don't know. The guy's like the Howard Hughes of Harrison County.
He owns a lot of stuff.
But we're trying to get it, there's some health issues. We're just trying to get it done because the window's kind of closing, and if we can get it done now, there's just so much the family can avoid later.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that's what the workshops can provide. We've got the information there on your screen. Don't go broke in a nursing home. Elder advisors can help. It's so great to see both of you. I know the workshops will be fantastic.
Don't go broke in a nursing home. You don't have to, Brian, and neither does Kentuckiana.
And you don't have to go to jail after lunch. Amy will be there with you.
Yeah, that's comforting. 855-LARRY-55. It solves all of your problems.
All right. Well, we'll let these two go. We've got a couple of great segments still to come here on Wave Listens Live. Don't go anywhere.
This is Listens Live.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us here on Wave Listens Live. I'm your host, Brian Schlonsky. We've got a great show on tap for you today, but before we launch right in, we've got a giveaway to get to. A big thank you to all our listeners out there. The Harlem Globetrotters, we've mentioned several times, are coming to town, and that giveaway is for you. You got to be the first caller, though, today, and you can win a family 4-pack of tickets to see the Harlem Globetrotters on January 11th here in Louisville at the KFC Yum Center. All you got to do, call the number on your screen, 502-571-5263. That is your chance to win those tickets for you and your family. Again, got to be the first caller, so we wish you good luck. Our first couple of segments today with the Elder Advisors. That means the workshops are coming up. We've got all the information for you. You know the two folks here off to my left. I hope you know them well.
Hello, Kentuckiana. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Hello.
Larry Weiss is the president of Elder Advisors.
That's me.
Lindsay Fleming is
That's her.
the vice president. But again, yes, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year,
I didn't have my cell phone. I was like going to call in,
try to win those tickets. I got to interview them a couple days ago, and it's going to be exciting.
Good
so
stuff.
there's a lot going on. We've got events like that. We've got workshops.
Don't go broke in a nursing home because you don't have to.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
Let's talk about, I know you guys are here and you build up to these, and so a lot of people know you by now, but for those that maybe we have some new year, new listeners
Absolutely.
today.
I mean,
My New Year's resolution is to watch more Listens Live.
I need more Brian Schlonsky in my life. More Brian, please.
Keep it
More
going.
Brian.
Tell them.
And you know, who is not watching Wave 3, 1230, NBC affiliate, every day in Kentuckiana? You are the resident voice of Kentuckiana.
Well,
Brian, Wave 3.
I don't know how to follow this up. I'm
here to help
I'm just
you.
going to sit here and smile.
Well, the producer's telling me Brian's suffering from lack of confidence. To try to
So
help
build
him.
it up.
I'm on it. Brian, you're the man.
Be more confident 2024. That's what they say.
Don't go broke in a nursing home because you don't have to.
That's the real reason you guys are here. It is so important. We just spent all this time with our loved ones, maybe some of our elder loved ones in our lives, and maybe we've noticed a couple things. This is probably the perfect time to attend one of these, especially if you haven't before.
It is, and a large part of what we're now doing is placement, because placement's really a 4-letter word. It's tough. And Autumn Schneider, Director of Client Services, she handles all of that stuff. We recently placed the Petersons with the D. They're like from Scandinavia. They came down from Minnesota, and it's Peter and Agnetha Peterson, and they're at Bridgepoint Gardens, and they're good people. I told them I was going to give them a shout out. Hello, Peter. Hello, Agnetha. They're good people. And they're at Bridgepoint Gardens, and it's just a wonderful community for assisted living, and we're happy to be able to help them get settled in. Oh, I have to give a shout out to my mom and dad. Hi, Mom and Dad. They're in TV land watching today. Hi, Mom and Dad.
A lot of shout outs. This is important, though, and you mentioned to me several times in the commercial break that Bridgepoint was one of those that you wanted to make sure to mention. This is why it's so important to get involved with people like you guys.
I'm embarrassed to say I didn't even know about Bridgepoint Gardens a year ago. Autumn did. She's been out doing the tours and stuff like that, and when the family reached out for the Petersons with the D, Autumn suggested Bridgepoint Gardens. I'm like, Bridgepoint who? And it's like a cruise ship on land for people, and it's just been really, really impressive for the family there. I think Rhonda's the director. Just really great. So it's never too late. And the reality is, a lot of times, if we can get to the families before they degrade to the point where they need, and their only option is skilled long-term care, I find a lot of times if we can get people to an assisted living community, we may not have to even deal with that. Is that a fair statement?
It is, and we've had a conversation. I've had a conversation with many clients. I do all the time, and recently, in the course of my career, I've been doing this for about 15 years. The transition from home to is hard. It's hard, okay? But the transition literally has never been in my entire career as bad as the family or the client thinks it's going to be. Never, not one time. And what we see, especially in the assisted living communities, but also in skilled care, is that when you've got a loved one who's getting 3 hot meals a day, their medication the way they're supposed to, all of a sudden they're socialized with folks that have the same experiences that came up, that maybe served in the same wars or were the same stay-at-home moms and came through the same decades
You're
together.
at the same type of life.
You do. And we see so much that after placement, truly quality of life goes up. Quality of life goes up, and families just don't recognize it. I think it's a hyper focus on losing independence, and that's hard. Listen, I'm not here to say it's not hard. It's hard. It is hard, but there's light at the other end of the tunnel, and it's been a pleasure to shepherd folks through that at Bridgepoint Gardens and all of our other partners as well.
You know, Larry, you do these workshops at different times of the year for different reasons in different areas.
Right.
Anything significant about now trying to make sure that people get this information right as we start a new year?
I think the demand is already there. It's kind of like the Salvation Army. No, there is no season. There is no reason, but there's always a season.
Sure.
I just completely butchered.
Need has no season.
Thank you, Lindsay. Another
really good.
example of why she just pontificates and just nails it as senior vice president.
But I do think at the beginning of the year, people are kind of starting to scratch
They've
their
been
head.
putting things off.
And I had a conversation with a fellow on the phone today, and his brother has been recently diagnosed with a degenerative disease, ALS. And it's like, today, you need to start making some choices today, but you don't have to wait for a devastating diagnosis. These are plans that my dad and my stepmom are very healthy. They're out and about. They're taking the girls to the movies. Hi, Ronnie. Hi, Riley. So they're out to the movies today doing their best grandparent life, but they're well and they're thriving, and they've worked with us to make sure that their affairs are in order, and it's a perfect time to get your ducks in a row. And I really personally love the idea of doing it at a workshop, because while we would love to see you in our office and you have that opportunity, a workshop is just a less threatening way, right? It's just you're in a room with folks. You can kind of get a flavor for who we are and what we are, a high level.
The comedy genius that is Larry Weiss.
I knew you were gonna jump on that flavor comment.
It's less intimidating, right? It's less intimidating that you can kind of come with your notebook and just take some things in and see what's maybe for you and maybe not. And I think I love the workshop.
If you're not careful, Kentuckiana, you might just learn something at the workshop.
That's right.
We've got some of the information up, and we're going to hit this in the next segment as well. But before we go to break for this first segment, you guys both touched on this about how you don't have to wait until that critical moment or that diagnosis. So many people in life, all of us do, we procrastinate on things, but why is it so important not to procrastinate on what could be the biggest event that happens in your life? Why get on this early?
Because you have some more options, right? You have more options. So when we're working a crisis plan, the house is on fire, somebody's already in placement, we can do things, right? We can do our job. We can help. But when it's smooth sailing, right? When you're 64, 65 years old, you have no health issues. That's really when you can have an empowering stance and you really get to drive the roadmap, right? Crisis plan, the tail's wagging the dog.
Right.
A pre-plan where you're coming in and just talking and kind of getting your affairs in order, your ducks in a row, that's so empowering, Kentuckiana. I can't imagine anything more empowering, more uplifting, more solid feeling than, hey, I'm taking control of this and getting it laid out.
On top of that, if you are inevitably faced with a crisis, that can be your #1 priority to deal with, because all of these other things will have already been handled because you're on top of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got another segment with you guys, so please stick around.
Kentuckiana
I'm
can
glad
never
you're
get
here.
enough of Larry.
That's true.
You know what? 'Tis the
I was excited
season.
y'all were here.
The
Again.
need has no season.
Oh, we got it this time. The need has no season. Okay, stay with us here. Wave Listens Live. Another segment with the Elder
This
Advisors.
isn't live, is it?
Oh, man. Teetering on the edge. We might have 2 seconds of buffer. I don't know, actually. Probably
Let's not test it out, please.
Not today. We'll be right back after this short break. We're back with you now on Wave Listens Live, back with Elder Advisors. Don't go broke in a nursing home.
Don't go anywhere else.
Or anywhere else. Larry Weiss, Lindsay Fleming, both here to help. We've got workshops to talk about, and you've got something you're going to hit right off the top
Yeah,
here.
I'm going to talk about the barbershop law, but before I do, I just really have to take a moment to thank, I'm not here just because of me. I'm here because I've got 10 great people that work with me every day. Start with Lindsay, my senior vice president. She's pretty much handling day-to-day operations now. Thank you, Lindsay. Autumn, it'll take too much time to go through what all they do, but Autumn, Suzanne, Tim, Elijah, Haley, Kelly,
And that other guy.
Mary Ann.
And Mary Ann and the rest of the crew of Gilligan's Island. And of course my parents, they raised me right.
Sure.
They taught me right from wrong. Mom was making me get up every morning and deliver papers, and Dad was showing me how to, just kind of handle business and checkbooks and stuff. So thank you, Mom and Dad, and thank you for the team at Elder
Somebody
Advisors.
taught you how to dress because you are the sharpest of dressers.
My dad's a former Marine, so he gave me a shoe brush. So I still have it to this day. Brush the shoe.
The gig line with the belt and the
gig
tie.
line all lined up.
I know what I'm talking about. Well, it's important you mention your team, though, because that's who people get to work with and are helping guide you through this process.
Phenomenal.
You work with them every day, too. So what is it like if you're somebody who's coming to the workshop and you're going to say, hey, I need somebody like Elder Advisors to have everybody that you have with you to help along the way?
I want to jump on that because there's always a couple empty seats at the workshops. We're doing Louisville on Monday, Tuesday in Clarksville, Corydon on Wednesday. And those empty seats are because there are people who have thrown their hands up because of the barbershop law. Nothing can be done. It's too late. Bob at church or Glenn at the McDonald's Coffee Club said when it happened to them, well, you know what? It might have happened to them. They might have spent down everything. It might have been a devastating effect on them. But they didn't call Elder Advisors because the outcome would have been different. No one thing can do it well. So at the workshops, I asked people 3 key questions, and they have to be honest with themselves. They don't have to be honest with me. But because the reality is for husband and wife, we can protect all the assets. For a single person, we can protect about half the assets. Half of something's better than all of nothing. So I asked the families, how many people have a loved one in a nursing home are about to go? Hands go up. That's crisis planning. We can help. Forget the barbershop law, that nonsense. The second key question is, how many people still have their loved ones at home? They're trying to get some home health and stuff like that. Hands go up. That's pre-crisis planning. And now with Mary Ann, who I deliberately did a strategic television pause for to build interest in, Mary Ann can help people stay at home so they never have to go to the nursing home. So now they don't have to worry about going broke in nursing home. They can stay home. And Mary Ann does that on the pre-crisis plan as well. And then the third question, and everybody's hands go up, then if they're honest, I say, how many people simply want to avoid these problems for themselves, give themselves peace of mind, and protect their children, give themselves peace of mind? Everybody's hands go up. That's pre-planning. And that's in all these variables, there's almost always a legal component. We're not attorneys. We're not firemen. We're not CPAs. We're certainly not erstwhile TV personality hosts.
Sort of are that.
Yeah, not really. So we have Bob Marshall, who is a CPA and an attorney. He will be at the Louisville workshops in January because we're not attorneys. And then we have Laura Williams for the Indiana folks in Corydon and Clarksville. So we always make sure there's a legal skill set there because if there's legal nuances, well, then who better to address it than attorneys?
Sure.
So don't go broke in a nursing home in Kentucky because you don't have to.
Lindsay, you've got this team of people and all these other folks that you work with. You mentioned Bridgepoint earlier. You have these places that you can partner with to help people find the exact place that they need to be. And so when you have people that come to the workshops that have said, well, Larry was talking about the barbershop law. Well, somebody told me this was impossible, and then you're able to say, well, no, we're going to help you with this. Got to be big moments for the team.
It's a relief. I mean, it is. And we read over. We have a team meeting every Tuesday, and we read over the thank you notes. I mean, we don't go a week seriously without getting a thank you note. So every Tuesday we read over 2 yesterday. So we read over the thank you notes, and just we are making an impact. And it's so our team is like a security blanket. I think it's like, and Larry says it all the time. I want you to feel better when you walk out of here, and I think we do that. And we are a instead of the Google bar, I don't know if you've ever tried to research something on Google and it's like, is this, and there's 18 pages, and what are you looking for? We don't know everything, but we know how to get you the information
You know who does know the answer to that question.
Exactly. So if it's a legal matter, we know the attorneys. If it's a CPA matter, we know the CPAs. And so when it comes certainly to the financial nuances of not losing your hard-earned money to the high cost of aging, that's what we do. That's what we do. And so I guess you could Google how to not lose my money, but you could just come to a workshop and hear it from the experts.
Google's going to give you the results that they choose to give you.
Right. This is all that we do. And we work for our families. It's our families, and that's who we serve, and it's a pleasure and it's a privilege.
Okay, Larry, you guys always change the locations, make sure you can serve a lot of people at the workshops. Let's hit those again one more time. The locations.
Kentuckiana, we will be Monday, January 8th. These are all 10 in the mornings at the Hilton Garden Inn down by the fairgrounds next to the Cracker Barrel, exit 132 on 65. Tuesday, back across the north side of the river to Hampton Inn in Clarksville on Broadway, right off Veterans Parkway. And on Wednesday, we're going down to Corridon at the Holiday Inn Express. Calm down, please.
Come see. I love Corridon.
This is live television, for goodness sake. Calm down. And they can always go to freeworkshop.com, or you know what? They can call 855-LARRY-55. It answers all of life's questions and problems for people. 855-LARRY-55.
Those are such easy contact information. Easy to remember, easy to write down.
Brian, it's called branding.
Yeah, well, you're good at that.
855-LARRY-55, freeworkshop.com.
1 minute left. We know we want everybody to get out and make sure they have a chance to at least attend one of these, but any last piece of advice or info you want to get out there?
Leave the barbershop law at home in Kentuckiana. You know, there's always the gloomy Gus. No. There's help out there, okay? If nothing else, you're out an hour and a half of your time, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's informative, it's fast-paced, but it's good information, and we hit the ground running. Just forget all the bad stuff, because there's a lot of people that just have thrown their hands up, right? Well, they told me. No, I don't care what they told you.
Let you guys help.
Listen to the experts. This is what we do. Know one thing and do it well.
If you've written a check to a nursing home in the last 30 days, you have a place at the workshop.
Yeah, for sure.
That's good advice, too.
And if you have someone in rehab right now and you're kind of dismissive, well, no, you need to come and see us now, because people think they got 100 days of Medicare rehab. Maybe not. Usually 20 days and they'll cut it. So if you've got someone in rehab right now, you need to be at the workshop.
Find out more at the workshops.
Find out more at the workshops. You guys are great. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. All the things.
Lindsay, say goodbye.
I was listening to Matt. He was giving us the wrap-up. You were just going to talk us into the commercial.
Saw him out of the corner of my eye.
That's the man. Thank you, Matt, in production.
You guys are great. We'll see you all at the workshops.
I smell steak.
Do you? We're not cooking in the studio today. I don't know what he's smelling. We've got another great segment, though, so be sure to stay.